as Conway is running the black and white scheme, and now it looks like going to be able to get around. That is E.J. Vizo, the KV Lotus car that is coming back to the pits, and Mike Conway gets around. But watching he and Anna Beatrice go side by side, Davey, I didn't think we would really be able to see that at all at this racetrack, but they were glued together there as they went through 2 and even stayed that way into 3.
Well, you got to remember they had some slow cars in front of them, Mike. They were way off the pace, so that allowed them to do that. But I think Jake hit the nail on the head right now. Most of these teams doing a lot of simulated pit stops. I see majority of them from, Vitor Mira, Elio, Briscoe, Carpenter. I mean, a bunch of these guys just going in and out to simulate pit stops, and probably just wait till later in this session to see what the track's going to be like.
Well, the fans are they're starting to make their way in here. Mark James was talking about it yesterday. When we were here in 1998, Davey, you could have probably counted the motorhomes and the RVs and the campers on 2 hands. As you look across the track, there is a vast sea of motorhomes and motor coaches that are parked out over back behind the back straight. And Jerry Gappin's the promoter here. Jerry is the general manager, and in talks with Jerry, he really believes that if he gets a decent walk-up, he's going to have 35 to 40,000 people here today. And, David, that would be a great crowd for this event.
Well, I think, and once that they see those 35 or 40 that we hope that show up today, see what kind of racing that the IZOD IndyCar Series produces and the Firestone Indy Lights, that they're going to be impressed. And I think that they're going to tell their friends and other race fans that, hey, that was a fantastic show. It's a cool racetrack, obviously, for these cars. It's going to be way different racing than we're used to seeing at some of the facilities. And try to grow. It's a great part of the country. We love coming here. Bruton has done a great job with this facility. Jerry's done a great job promoting it, and just hope that we could grow, our
the fan
series
base
and the fan base here. Now, it is tough. I mean, you got to remember, race fans are race fans, whether it's NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One, whatever, but there is a NASCAR race not very far from here, and some of the fans got split up, I'm sure.
Yeah, Watkins Glen this
right,
weekend is where the Cup Series is running, but certainly fans of speed are here this weekend. And, Davey, kind of interesting as some of the conversations that members of the radio network have overheard in local haunts where we've either eaten or been gathering. Our network general manager, Wally Levitt, said he overheard a conversation between a couple of guys arguing where one guy was trying to tell another guy that cars were doing 170 miles an hour at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and the other guy was saying, you got to be wrong. There's no way in the world it can't happen. Here's a guy who clearly is used to stock car speeds at this track. When the Cup Series is here, nearly 35 miles an hour slower, and in some cases 40 miles an hour slower than what the Indy cars are running here this weekend. This is a dramatic jump in speed.
And when that guy was telling him, hey, it's 170 miles an hour, that's average speed. That's not top speed. And these guys are approaching the 195 mile an hour range when they probably 190 at the end of these straightaways. So that's average speed, not top speed. So as you say, Mike, it's apples to oranges. But we're usually 35, 40 mile an hour on these kind of tracks faster than NASCAR, and sometimes even more than that.
Scott Dixon is currently P1. He is third in the championship, and of course, won last weekend at Mid-Ohio, won pole, led more laps than any other driver, so he maxed out on points. So it is Dixon, currently P1. Mike Conway, who we talked about earlier, Andretti Autosport, currently P2. Takuma Sato has been pretty racy here this weekend. He is currently P3. Thomas Schechter, who is right now in the seat for the injured Justin Wilson. And we had some communication, Davey, yesterday with Justin. You went back and forth with him as far as some text. Looks like Justin may be joining us in the radio booth for a couple of events coming up.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be in Baltimore. We can get him up here and say hi to us for sure. And then possibly Sonoma. He'll be there watching his brother at Baltimore in the Indy Lights series. So glad to see Justin up and around and trying to be as positive as he can. We miss him in the race car, obviously, but he'll be back. Hopefully, I'm praying that he gets back from Vegas. It's doubtful. It's definitely doubtful.
Yeah.
But that'd be cool to see him in one more race this year.
And it's not that he won't be perhaps healed enough to be in the car, but Davey, the risk, as you well know, having gone through this injury, is re-injuring yourself, the damage you can do if in fact you come back too soon and have another incident in the race car.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a situation where risk to reward, right, Mike? I mean, it's like, come on, there's one more race.
Yeah, Vitor Mira wanted to come back a couple of years ago a lot quicker.
Yeah, that's right.
And they wouldn't let him get back in the car.
Exactly.
After the big hit at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Dixon, Sato, Conway, Alex Tagliani has moved to P4. Thomas Schechter, P5 here in the final 30-minute warm-up prior to this afternoon's MoveThatBlock.com Indy 225. It comes your way at 3 o'clock Eastern. Don't forget, Mark Janes and the crew will be along at 1:10 Eastern time, right back here on IndyCar.com for the Firestone Indy Lights New Hampshire 100 here on this fast, flat, 1 mile New Hampshire Motor Speedway oval. And Davey, when we say flat, we mean it. Banking in the corners graduated from 2 degrees to 7 degrees.
Well, it's high bank compared to where when we raced here in the past, though. I mean, that's they added. It used to be just 2 degrees, I think, around this track, and it's hard to get on the bottom. But one thing that I'm seeing, Mike, in this final warm-up is a lot of passing. There, you can get a run off the corners. You can go down these long straightaways, and as we see going into turn 1 right now, we see. Let me see, is that Marco Andretti going underneath Simone? We see Sato going underneath Simona and Briscoe now attempting to do it. So there is passing. It's happening. Yeah. Mike and Jake, you may be able to confirm this, but I think it looks like they're working on the right side of that car, and the coolers on the right side. Yep. That should be the oil coolers on the right side. I think water's on the left and oil and gearbox is on the right.
That looks like oil.
So I'm pretty sure that that's an oil issue, not a water issue. So when you say radiator, I just want to specify that most of the time we think radiators as being water, but they do have radiators for the engine and the gearbox on the right side, I'm almost sure.
Okay, back to green as we've got, according to the clock, less than 5 minutes, 4 minutes and 45 seconds of green time remaining. We will have to wait and see if they're going to award any additional time based on the downtime for Elio's oil down. Let's hear from Thomas Schechter. He's with Jake.
Thomas Schechter is not where you want to be right now while there's still cars on the track, but what exactly happened? I heard CV joint, but that was unconfirmed. What happened to your car?
Yeah, there was a CV joint at the rear of those, but I mean, why I came in initially is it looked like, I thought there was a crash in turn 2. There was a piece of carbon come up. It looked like part of a front wing, and it hit my car. So, you know, I just brought it in to check what happened, and it looks like something happened on the right rear with a CV. So I must have hit someone else's debris. I'm not sure if it's related or not to the problem we got on the car, but we'll take a look at it. But good news, the car's handling pretty good, so I'm happy with that.
Do you know where it might have come from, the piece of debris that you hit?
From a car in front of me. I'm not sure. It looked like a little part of the front wing, and I thought initially there was a crash because there was some carbon shrouds all over, and then just a big chunk hit the car. So I'm not sure which car it was from.
Is it too early to know the extent of the damage on the car or how long a repair? You were running in the top 10, I think, when it happened, so it looked like that 22 car was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the car better, so you know, that's what it's about. We've been working a lot on the race stuff, so we'll see. I don't know how long it's going to take. We're just analyzing the problem now, and hopefully it'll be soon. We can get it back out, and if we can't get it back out, then, you know, I'm pretty happy with the race car.
All right, best of luck to you this afternoon.
Thank you.
Thomas Schechter, who, of course, is filling in for the injured Justin Wilson in that number 22 Dryer and Reinbold machine.
Sure is. Ryan Briscoe pulling up on Sebastian Saavedra, who's been off the pace, going to shoot down underneath of him. Along comes Dario with him. They get down in turn 3. Dario lifts just a little bit when he gets side by side. Briscoe pulls away right now, Mike, but man, this is more like a race than a practice
What
session.
about Sato? You know, Sato is keeping pace with Dario Franchitti right now.
So is Tony Kanaan. Tony Kanaan's just every time he's just a lap behind, passing the same guys that Dario is. So Kanaan's looking strong in that KV car.
The guy to be on the lookout for, and I'm sure you will hear us yelling his name early on in today's race broadcast, Davey, Graham Rahal. Mark Janes will have an eye on him because Graham Rahal just about wadded up his race car in turn 4 yesterday during qualifying, threw away his qualifying run. And Graham Rahal, who has been quick here all weekend and right now is P3. Davey, Graham's going to go off 23rd today, and he's got himself a race car.
He's going to be exciting. There's no doubt about it, coming from the back to the front. And we're talking about Briscoe and Dario. Well, look at this. Briscoe's pulling away from Dario.
Yeah, and Dario has not been able to really
Sato.
gap Sato at all. About 8 car lengths or so. But, you know, Dario's not going to show him everything, is he?
No, and right there, he picked it up. He gained about 5-6 car lengths on Briscoe.
Running behind Jake's right now.
Now Dario is going to have a huge run.
Oh, look at this. Here comes Sato, though. No.
That's Dario
Dario.
going by Briscoe.
Yep.
I mean, he picked up about 20 car lengths in one lap. It's going to
Boom,
drive right
just like
around
that.
him. Yeah.
Yeah, so all of a sudden Dario hit the button and decides I'm going to get Briscoe here.
Yeah, and did it.
Yeah, Dixon is P1 right now. His quick lap, 22.36, 165 miles an hour. Dario Franchitti is next, 22.5, 163.9 as the checkered flag comes out. Dixon, Franchitti, Ray Hall, Hunter Ray, and Oriol Servia, Davey, finally got a few hot laps in.
Finally got some in and looking good. P5, I mean, he comes back, and how many laps? He ran 30 laps, but only probably 10 of those were fast
real
laps.
hot laps, yeah. So Takuma Sato winds up 6th, Mike Conway 7th, 8th to James Hinchcliffe, EJ Vizo 9th, Tony Kanaan 10th. So once again, all 3 KV cars are in the top 10. Both of the Target Chip Ganassi racing machines are at the top of the charts. Then you've got Graham Rahal with Chip Ganassi Racing. So right now, Ganassi, Davey, they've just got a stranglehold.